Now that we're all done, I already have blown off all the dust, and as you can see, I had a little bit of glue left on the sides of the bridge that with the clamps there, I couldn't really get to. Now, before we lacquer, we don't want lacquer on the fretboard or the bridge. Now, having said that, I could lacquer it and it would still work. So please understand. The reason we tend to not lacquer this is because with your fingers constantly touching, over time it's going to flake off and look bad. So we tend to oil this so it doesn't do that. And then we don't want to do the bridge because if we lacquer this and oil this, they will look different. So to keep consistency, I'm going to put tape over my fretboard and around the bridge so that it cannot be sprayed, and I'll put some oil on it later on. Before we lacquer, we want to try to avoid getting lacquer in the sound hole. So we're going to mask it off. We're certainly not going to tape down there, so we just take a half sheet of paper, roll it up pretty tight, and place it so that it'll unroll. I'm going to put it on this side and it'll unroll to the other side. And this is where it can get tricky. Because of all the bracing inside, it doesn't necessarily want to stay. And then just get your fingers in there and help it unroll correctly, so that when you spray, a vast majority of it gets caught with this paper. And there we go. So at least right here, when I spray in, I can see it's gonna hit the paper. Here in the lacquer room, I do not have the blower going, the vacuum going right now, simply so you can hear me. But make sure the vacuum is going so all the fumes get taken out. On my table, I do have a permanent box with a spike plate on, but I want a separate one so I can put it on, and then when it's drying, I can remove the spike plate with it on top of it. So make sure you get a fairly long one that is most of the body, the length of the body, so I can set it on and it's heavy enough that it doesn't topple. All right, we always do the back first. So flip it over, set it down nice and neat. Remember, you don't want to push it down hard or give it a push, because those spikes, those screws that hold it up so air can get under, will leave a dent. So don't push down, be very gentle. Take the gun, make sure it's the clear lacquer. In my shop, I have 3 different guns. It's the one on the far right for clear. You don't want to get this one wrong. And all I'm going to do is spray the back and the back of the neck, and that's it. I'm not going to do any of the sides because I need to be able to touch it to flip it over. So usually 3 passes is enough overlap. I got the entire back and side, and neck. Now I can hold it where it's dry, flip it over, gently put it down without sliding it around. Now I'm going to do the sides and rotate the table as I do. Remember to ease into it, so I'm not starting here, I'm off the side and around a little bit, and now I do the top. Just here, and then 1, 2, 3, and that's it. But this allows me to pick it up. I can now pick it up and take it to the drying rack behind this bin, this cage, and let it dry, and other people can use the gun.